When life reaches the edge of a month, something powerful happens. The energy that has been building within you, the choices you made, the discipline you kept or avoided, everything begins to reveal itself. And God says, the last 2 days of November will show everything. Not because these days are magical on their own, but because you are finally ready to see what you were blind to before. These final 2 days are not an ending, they are a mirror. The truth always arrives on time, and this is one of the deepest principles life continues to teach us again and again. We want answers immediately. We want clarity instantly. We want God to remove the confusion the moment it appears. But life does not move on our schedule. Spiritual timing is not based on impatience or desire. It is based on readiness. So when God says that the last 2 days of November will show everything, it is not because these days carry a mystical weight on their own. It is because your soul has finally reached a stage where truth can enter without breaking you. Truth is not light. Truth is not delicate. Truth can slice through illusions you lived with for years. And if it comes too early, it destroys. But when it comes at the right time, it liberates. There have been moments in your life when you begged for answers. Times when you prayed for a sign. You asked God to reveal who is real, who is pretending, which path is yours, which opportunity is meant for you. And when the answer didn't come immediately, you felt ignored. You felt forgotten. But divine timing has nothing to do with delay. It has everything to do with preparation. You were not denied clarity, you were growing into the person who could handle the clarity. Because truth is not a gentle whisper. It is a mirror that forces you to see everything, including parts of yourself you were not ready to embrace. As the month reaches its final breath, it brings with it a soft yet powerful energy. It is the energy of revelation. The kind of revelation that doesn't shout, that doesn't explode, that doesn't announce itself dramatically. Instead, it unfolds quietly, like dawn sliding across the sky. It is in these last 2 days that things become visible, not because they were never there, but because your inner world stops resisting reality. You finally stop holding on to what you were afraid to lose. You stop clinging to illusions that kept you comfortable. You stop denying the things you already sensed deep within. These days don't reveal new truths. They simply allow you to accept the truths you once avoided. You may notice people acting differently. Someone's intentions, once blurry, suddenly become clear. A relationship that felt heavy may show you exactly why. A friend's silence may begin to make sense. A door you kept pushing may finally show you it was never meant to open. And another door, one you ignored, may start opening effortlessly. This is what happens when God says, now you are ready to see, not before, not after, but exactly now. Truth has its own rhythm. It does not rush. A seed cannot be forced to grow by pulling on it. A flower cannot be opened by tearing at its petals. In the same way, your life's truths unfold when the season inside you matches the season around you. These final days of November create an alignment between your inner world and your outer circumstances. It is not magic, it is alignment. When the internal and external meet, clarity appears. When your soul is steady, life speaks louder. When your spirit stops fighting, God's messages land smoothly. Sometimes this clarity comes as loss. Someone leaves, something ends, and your mind screams, why now? But the truth arriving on time does not always feel like a blessing at first. It feels like disruption. Because endings are a form of truth as well. They reveal what cannot walk with you into the next chapter. They show you who cannot match your energy anymore, who cannot support your growth, who cannot handle the person you are becoming. And even though your heart may resist, your spirit already knows the truth. What leaves now was never yours. And what stays now will serve your future. Other times this clarity comes as opportunity. A chance, a message, a person, a moment that feels perfectly timed. You may look back and realize that if this opportunity had come earlier, you would have ruined it, because you were not ready to receive it, nurture it, or understand its value. That is why truth is not rushed. The blessing arrives only when you have grown into the version of yourself capable of handling it with wisdom. The truth reveals the blessing, but only when your character is strong enough to carry it. In these last 2 days, you may notice your mind becoming quieter, not because problems vanished, but because your awareness expanded. When your awareness expands, your perspective shifts. Suddenly, the things that once confused you begin to make sense. The people who once frustrated you begin to reveal their true nature. Situations that once seemed chaotic begin to show their pattern. The dots connect, the meaning emerges, and you realize nothing was random. Everything was preparation. Life rarely gives explanations during the storm, but it shows everything once the storm settles. These final days of November are that moment of settling. The wind slows, the noise fades, the fog lifts, and what was once hidden becomes visible. This is why truth always arrives on time. It arrives the moment your soul becomes still enough to observe. Many people misunderstand divine timing. They think it means waiting passively. But spiritual timing is active. While you thought nothing was happening, your character was being shaped. Your patience was being stretched. Your emotional muscles were being strengthened. Your intuition was being sharpened. All of this was preparation for truth, because truth is not given to the fragile. It is given to those who have the inner stability to hold it without collapsing. Think of the moments when you misunderstood silence. You thought God was ignoring you. You thought nothing was changing, but silence is where truth grows. Silence is where understanding forms. Silence is where the universe rearranges itself so that everything aligns at the perfect moment. If truth came earlier, it would have overwhelmed you. If it came later, it would have delayed your growth. So it comes now, at the edge of November, so that you walk into the next month with clarity, not confusion. These final 2 days are like a spiritual checkpoint. They show you what is working and what is not. They show you which relationships nourish you and which drain you. They show you which habits elevate you and which sabotage you. They show you which fears are still holding you and which ones you have already outgrown. Truth does not arrive as a lecture. It arrives through your own awareness. It arrives through the quiet moments when something just clicks, when something inside you says, "No, I understand." And when truth arrives, you can no longer pretend. Pretending becomes heavy. Ignoring becomes exhausting. Avoiding becomes impossible. That is how you know truth has come. It demands honesty within yourself. It demands alignment with your values. It demands that you stop betraying your own intuition. It demands authenticity. You cannot carry illusions into the next chapter. Life will strip them away for your own good. There may be moments during these last days when you feel emotional, not because something is wrong, but because something inside you is finally being released. Old attachments weaken. Old fears dissolve. Old wounds begin to heal as clarity settles in. The truth doesn't just show you what is outside, it reveals what is inside. And when you see yourself clearly, transformation begins. Truth is a light, but light can be blinding when you come from darkness. That is why life gradually increases your capacity to handle illumination. Each challenge increased your resilience. Each delay strengthened your patience. Each disappointment prepared your emotional maturity. So now, when truth arrives, you can hold it without fear, without panic, without resistance. The last 2 days of November are not the climax of a month. They are the awakening of your awareness. They are the moment when you stop being who you were and start becoming who you are meant to be. They are the bridge between who you were forced to be and who you choose to be. They are the moment when truth gently but firmly knocks on the door of your consciousness and says, "It's time." And you will feel it, not as chaos but as clarity, not as anxiety, but as understanding, not as pressure, but as alignment. Truth always arrives on time because it arrives at the moment you are strong enough to receive it and wise enough to use it. And when it arrives, your whole life quietly begins to shift, preparing you for what comes next. You cannot enter December with old weight, and this is one of the greatest spiritual truths most people ignore until life forces them to understand it. There comes a time in every person's journey when holding on becomes more painful than letting go, when carrying the same emotional, mental, or spiritual baggage becomes too heavy for the next chapter. Life does not punish you by removing things, it prepares you by clearing the path. And when God says that the last 2 days of November will show everything, it includes showing you exactly what cannot come with you into the next month, the next season, the next evolution of who you are becoming. You cannot walk through a new door with old weight pressing down on your shoulders. You cannot rise while dragging the past behind you like a chain. Growth demands release, and whether you choose it or resist it, life will eventually take what is slowing you down. Old weight comes in many forms. It is not always a person, a relationship, a mistake, or a memory. Sometimes it is a version of yourself you have outgrown but continue to cling to. Sometimes it is a mindset that once protected you but now limits you. Sometimes it is guilt from the past or fear of the future. Sometimes it is a comfort zone disguised as safety but actually suffocating your potential. And the reason the last days of a month feel spiritually heavy is because your soul can sense that a cycle is coming to an end. Your spirit becomes aware that you cannot carry certain energies into the next phase of your life. The weight that felt normal all month suddenly feels unbearable. The situations you tolerated suddenly feel out of alignment. The relationships you forced suddenly feel draining. This is not coincidence, it is spiritual cleansing. When life prepares you for elevation, it first requires separation. You cannot ascend while attached to what was only meant for an earlier chapter of your life. Many people pray for blessings, opportunities, and breakthroughs, yet they refuse to release the very things blocking those blessings. You cannot step forward if you are still rooted backward. And so life, in its divine intelligence, begins to remove what you refuse to release. Sometimes the removal feels confusing at first, even painful. You may question why certain people distance themselves, why certain plans fall apart, why certain doors close suddenly. But with time, you realize these were not losses, they were alignments. Life was not taking from you, it was preparing you. Old weight can be emotional weight. It is the unresolved grief, the unspoken hurt, the disappointment you never addressed. It is the anger you pretend you let go of. It is the forgiveness you give others but deny yourself. And emotional weight is heavy because it drains the energy you need to build your future. You cannot create new beginnings from a heart that still holds old wounds. Healing is not about forgetting. It is about freeing your heart from the burden of reliving the same pain. And as the month ends, your soul knows it must release old emotional weight to make space for new spiritual strength. Old weight can be mental weight. It is the overthinking, the self-doubt, the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of change. It is the belief that you are not ready, not worthy, not capable. It is the internal dialogue that limits you, even when life is trying to expand you. Mental weight is often the heaviest because it shapes your perception of reality. And if you enter December with the same mindset that held you back in November, nothing will change. Even if the opportunities are waiting. That is why these final days become a moment of internal reset. You begin to see your own thought patterns clearly. You begin to notice the fears that no longer make sense. You begin to realize how much power your own mind has had over your growth, and the awareness itself becomes a form of release. Old weight can be relational weight as well. Certain people enter your life as lessons. They teach you, shape you, break you, strengthen you, and eventually outgrow you, or you outgrow them. But many people hold on long after the lesson has been completed. They hold on out of habit, comfort, fear of loneliness, or guilt. But relationships that were meant for a previous version of you cannot support the future version of you. When your spirit rises, not everyone will rise with you. And if you try to pull them along, their weight becomes yours. The universe will begin to create distance where your heart refuses to create boundaries. Not to punish you, but to protect you. Not to isolate you, but to elevate you. And these last days of November make the truth undeniable. Certain people are not meant to walk into December with you. Old weight can also be energetic weight. Every environment carries a vibration. Every person carries a frequency. If you spend time around negativity, your spirit absorbs it. If you surround yourself with people who complain, criticize, gossip, or live in fear, you eventually carry their emotional residue without realizing it. Energetic weight is subtle but powerful. It drains your motivation, fogs your intuition, and dims your light. And when a new season is approaching, the universe begins to clear your energetic space. You may feel the need to withdraw, to isolate, to sit with yourself, to pull back from crowded environments. This is not loneliness. It is energetic detox. Your spirit wants space to breathe so that you can enter the next month without absorbing the weight of others. These last 2 days of November bring everything to the surface. They amplify the emotions you ignored. They highlight the relationships you need to reevaluate. They awaken the intuition that was whispering inside you all month. You begin to see clearly what drains you, what strengthens you, what distracts you, what aligns with you. This clarity is a gift. It is a spiritual mirror showing you exactly what needs to be released. And as uncomfortable as it may feel, this discomfort is the beginning of transformation. To enter December fully, you must release what no longer belongs to you. But release does not mean forcefully cutting things away. True release is understanding. It is awareness. It is accepting that not everything in your life is meant to stay forever. It is accepting that change is not a threat. It is evolution. You release old weight not out of anger, not out of fear, but out of gratitude. Because everything that leaves your life taught you something. Everything that fell apart guided you somewhere. Everything that ended freed you for something better. The universe does not take things away to punish you. It removes what would have become a burden later. If you entered December carrying old weight, you would sabotage your own opportunities without realizing it. You would repeat cycles you worked so hard to break. You would recreate old patterns because the energy around you would still match the past. These last days of November are a spiritual pause before the next step. A moment to look honestly at what you are carrying and ask yourself, does this help me grow, or does this hold me down? There is nothing heavier than pretending. Pretending you are okay when you are not. Pretending you still care when you no longer do. Pretending something is working when it is clearly falling apart. Pretending someone is good for you when your intuition is screaming otherwise. Pretending to be the same person even though your spirit is evolving. These last days ask you to stop pretending. They ask you to be honest with yourself. They ask you to acknowledge the truth you already feel inside. Growth demands release. Healing demands release. Transformation demands release. Even blessings demand release. Because you cannot receive anything new with closed hands. You must make space. And making space is an act of courage. It means trusting that what is coming is better than what is leaving. It means trusting that God is not removing things randomly but intentionally. It means trusting that your spirit knows the path even when your mind fears it. December is a new energy, a new spiritual frequency, a new opportunity. But you will only feel its power if you enter it lightly, freely, consciously. You cannot enter a new season with the heaviness of an old one. You cannot take old fears into a new chapter. You cannot take toxic attachments into a month designed for growth. You cannot bring old doubts into a moment designed for elevation. The universe is preparing you, shaping you, cleansing you. And these last 2 days of November are the threshold. You are standing at the doorway of a new cycle, and the weight you choose to leave behind will determine the height you reach next. Your spirit has grown more than you realize, and this is one of the greatest truths human beings often fail to see in themselves. We spend so much time focusing on the battles we are still fighting, the mountains we have not yet climbed, the dreams we have not yet achieved, that we forget to notice the silent strength we have built along the way. Growth rarely announces itself. Transformation does not make noise while it is happening. It works in silence, in hidden moments, in quiet decisions, in small shifts that accumulate over time. And when God says that the last 2 days of November will show everything, it also means they will show you something you have overlooked for far too long. The strength you gained from every struggle, the wisdom you gained from every wound, the resilience you developed without even noticing it. You are not the same person you were at the beginning of this year. You are not the same person you were last month. You are not even the same person you were yesterday. Every challenge changed you. Every disappointment shaped you. Every heartbreak stretched your emotional capacity. Every delay strengthened your patience. Every moment you wanted to give up but didn't added another layer to your character. Growth is not always loud. Sometimes it is as simple as waking up with a stronger mind, making a better decision, honoring your boundaries, choosing peace over chaos, walking away from toxicity, or trusting yourself when you once questioned everything. Growth is invisible until life puts you in a situation where your old self would have collapsed, but your current self remains calm. Sometimes the universe allows you to face the same type of challenge again, not to hurt you, but to show you how far you have come. Something that once triggered you immediately now barely affects you. Something that once made you anxious now feels manageable. Someone who once had power over you now feels like a distant memory. This is growth. This is spiritual expansion. This is evolution. And you almost never notice it while it is happening. You grew every time you carried pain, but still chose kindness. You grew every time you felt lost, but still moved forward. You grew every time someone disappointed you, but you didn't let it harden your heart. You grew every time you walked away from what no longer aligned with your spirit, even when it hurt. You grew every time you realized your own worth just a little more. You grew every time you listened to your intuition instead of your fear. These internal shifts are not small, they are monumental. But because they happen gradually, quietly, internally, you assume nothing is changing. The last 2 days of November bring a certain clarity, a spiritual mirror that reflects your inner growth back to you. You begin to see the choices you made with new eyes. You begin to realize how much strength it took to survive moments that once felt unbearable. You begin to recognize the depth of your endurance. You begin to acknowledge the maturity in your reactions. You begin to understand that the version of you who walked through the darkness earlier this year is not the same version standing here now. Your spirit expanded even when you felt broken. Your soul strengthened even when you felt weak. Your mind sharpened even when you felt confused. Sometimes growth feels like exhaustion because you are shedding old identities. Sometimes growth feels like loneliness because you are elevating beyond old circles. Sometimes growth feels like confusion because your spirit is moving faster than your mind can understand. Sometimes growth feels like pain because you are releasing attachments that once defined you. But all of these sensations are signs of spiritual progress. And at the end of a month, at the end of a cycle, life always reveals what has been quietly transforming within you. There are moments when you look back and realize you handled something today that would have destroyed you a year ago. There are moments when you notice you are no longer seeking validation from people who once controlled your emotions. There are moments when you feel peace in situations where you once felt fear. There are moments when you trust yourself more deeply than ever before. These are not coincidences, they are indicators of your growth. You became stronger without announcing it. You healed without boasting about it. You matured without needing applause. True growth does not seek attention, it seeks alignment, it seeks integrity, it seeks truth. And your spirit has been quietly shaping itself into a version of you capable of carrying the destiny you have been praying for. Life often tests you not to break you, but to reveal your strength to yourself. You spent years believing you were fragile, when in reality you were developing resilience. You believed you were behind, when in reality you were being prepared. You believed you were lost, when in reality you were being redirected. You believed you were failing, when in reality you were being built. Growth is not comfortable because it challenges everything familiar. It stretches your identity. It breaks old patterns. It forces you to confront truths you once hid from. But the growth that feels uncomfortable now becomes the strength you will rely on later. Your spirit is wiser now. It sees through people more quickly. It senses danger earlier. It recognizes manipulation faster. It feels misalignment instantly. And this is not paranoia, it is intuition expanded by experience. You have earned this clarity. You have earned this instinct. You have earned this understanding. Your spirit is no longer naive. It has learned from every wound. Your spirit is calmer now. You do not react the way you once did. You do not fight battles that are beneath your energy. You do not explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You do not chase situations that drain your spirit. Peace has become your priority. Silence has become your language. Detachment has become your power. This calmness is not weakness. It is a sign of evolution. You are learning that not every action deserves a reaction. Not every comment deserves attention. Not every person deserves access to your energy. Your spirit is stronger now. You have learned how to stand alone. You have learned how to rebuild yourself. You have learned how to endure storms with grace. You have learned that your survival does not depend on anyone else. You carry a strength now that cannot be taught. It can only be earned through experience. You survived what was meant to break you. You became wiser from what was meant to confuse you. You became softer from what was meant to harden you. That is true strength. Your spirit is more aware now. You notice subtle energies. You understand the intentions behind words. You recognize patterns that once trapped you. You sense when a situation is shifting. You feel when a connection is fading. You know when something no longer aligns with who you are becoming. This awareness is not accidental. It is the result of all the pain, all the reflection, all the introspection, all the changes you have endured. Awareness is the reward of a soul that has paid attention. Your spirit is more disciplined now. Not because life became easier, but because you became more focused. You learned to control your impulses. You learned to prioritize your growth over temporary emotions. You learned to choose long-term peace over short-term comfort. You learned that true discipline is not about forcing yourself. It is about becoming aligned with what you truly want. And this discipline will carry you into the next month with clarity and purpose. You are stepping into December with a different spirit, a clearer spirit, a stronger spirit, a more grounded spirit. And these last 2 days of November are showing you the truth of who you have become. In small moments of reflection, in sudden realizations, in quiet thoughts, you begin to understand that everything you went through was shaping you from the inside out. Every tear watered your roots. Every challenge strengthened your foundation. Every setback built your endurance. Every disappointment purified your heart. Every ending prepared you for a new beginning. Most people underestimate their growth because they only measure progress by external achievements. But the greatest growth always happens internally. And your internal growth this year has been extraordinary. You faced storms alone. You walked through uncertainty. You fought silent battles. You healed from wounds nobody knew about. You kept going even when your heart was tired. This is spiritual strength. This is evolution. This is transformation. And now, as November closes, the universe ensures that you see it, that you feel it, that you recognize it. Because only when you acknowledge your own growth can you step into December with confidence instead of fear, with clarity instead of confusion, with strength instead of hesitation. You are not entering the new month as the person you once were. You are entering as someone wiser, stronger, more aware, more disciplined, more awakened. Your spirit has grown more than you realize, and now it finally becomes visible.